this winter. One man would tell his journey of the Black Hawk War. To reveal the untold stories of the Black Hawk War. A film by Tacos Aaron. Insightful and riveting. Captivating.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Aaron's Talk Show. How you guys doing today? In today's show, we have a very special guest who we're going to be interviewing. To start, I'll give y'all some clues to who our special guest is, so you can guess. Okay, first clue is that our guest was a great, courageous, and noble warrior.
I know. It's Spartacus. It has to be Spartacus.
Sorry, that's not it. Next clue is that during the famous War of 1812, our very special guest fought with the British against the U.S. Ooh, I think I know who it is. It's Napoleon, right? Ah, me from the past. Not only were you brash and unintelligent, you were also an incredibly bad dresser.
Well, who the heck is he? I mean, it has to be someone. I mean, can you give us another clue?
I feel like you guys should know this. Okay, last clue. Our guest was part of a Native American tribe in which he took place in a war named after himself called Black Hawk War. Who was he?
Oh, I know now. It's Pocahontas, huh? It's Pocahontas? Pocahontas.
You guys are breaking my heart here. Okay, you guys tried, but it's time to reveal our guest. Give a warm welcome for the one and only Black Hawk. Welcome to the show, Black Hawk, and thank you for joining us.
Oh, so proud of me, Aaron. Black Hawk is glad to be part of your show.
Alright, that's good. Let's go ahead and get started. So Black Hawk, tell us a little about yourself. Where are you from and when were you born?
Well, Black Hawk was born in the year of 1767. I'm from the Saukanique village on Rock River, which is in present-day Rock Island, in Illinois, and it was there that I trained to be a warrior.
Could you tell me a little bit more about your young life?
Yeah. Well, Black Hawk's father was named Piazza. Yeah. He was a tribal medicine man. When my father passed away from wounds that he got while on a raid, I inherited the medicine bottle bag. Yeah, my father carried that, and the medicine holds a great honor in my tribe. Yeah.
As a young man, you must have been involved in many battles, right?
Yes, Black Hawk was in many battles, which is how Black Hawk gained respect on the tribe and was eventually given the leadership role as a warrior. As a young man, I fought other Indian tribes such as the Cherokee and the Osage. Unfortunately, Black Hawk lost his father. One of these battles was he was hit in the head with an arrow and he died from it. Soon after this raid, I took the responsibility of my father's medicine bag.
so sorry to hear about your dad, but could you tell us when the first time you were involved with the Americans?
Well, my first involvement with the Americans was during the year of 1804, which was when the Treaty of St. Louis was signed. Black Hawk knows what happens to be as follows. One of my people killed an American and was shortly thereafter taken prisoner and confined in the prison of St. Louis. Black Hawk sent a party to St. Louis to retrieve him. The party stayed there in a good amount of time until they returned. They came back with a talk of ceded land.
And what was the Treaty of St. Louis?
Well, it was a treaty that tribal leaders of the Southern South and Fox clans negotiated with the U.S. to cede all of our tribal lands east of the Mississippi to the Americans. Well, Black Hawk, along with other leaders, did not stand for this agreement and decided that we would move from our homelands. The extent of the lands given, Black Hawk now has to know what all the country east of the Mississippi and south of Chevron was seceded to the United States for only $1,000 a year. And it was a few years after this that I learned that the British and Americans were going to war.
Okay. Well, why did you, when this war took place, why did you decide to side with the British instead of the Americans?
Well, once the war was confirmed among the tribes, Black Hawk's decision was to remain neutral or join the side of the British. Never a thought was given us to join the American side, as one good character trait had yet to be seen by them. They would make promises that were fair, but always were left unfulfilled, whereas the British made few promises, but their word was always good and reliable. Colonel Dixon from the British Army took us in and treated us with respect. He understood that the Americans were trying to take away our lands and was quick to offer us a fighting chance.
So when you were fighting with the British, how was that?
Well, Black Hawk lost and suffered many losses in battle. Yeah. I was fighting with the British Army, and Black Hawk does not face defeat at all. No. Also, plunder had promised that no plunder was given to Black Hawk and my people. Therefore, in 1813, my British band and I left them to return home to the Rock River to our families.
Okay, that's good
So-
right there. What happened with the Americans and your tribe after the War of 1812?
Well, despite the verbal agreement that was made by men who had the authority to rule, it which gave the United States government control of a large patch of land in Illinois along the Rock River, Black Hawk chose to disobey the treaty. Yeah, and they moved on to the further land. My people numbered more than 1,000, but this number was made up of men, women, and children. My people were looking for war. They were looking for land that they would farm and to grow food. Unfortunately, that's not what was found.
So is that how the famous Black Hawk War came to be? Is that how it started?
Yes, that's how it started. The Americans wanted to take over the land that they could, and unfortunately, that included mine.
Oh, I see. Well, could you tell us about the Black Hawk War and its beginnings?
Well, Black Hawk's motives were ambiguous. Black Hawk was hoping to avoid bloodshed while resettling on tribal land that had been succeeded to the United States not very long. 1804 Treaty of St. Louis. I hate that treaty. But when bloodshed was unavoidable, it was time for war. This is what started everything. When the year 1832 came around, a large amount of silver Unfortunately, one of those Black Hawk troopers was killed in the confusion, and the Black War began.
Let me see. How did your soldiers fare on the battlefield against the Americans?
Well, Black Hawk soldiers wouldn't feel bad during this conflict. Yeah, we were beasts. Yeah. During this war, our Indian warriors learned that the U.S. troops and the government were relentless in the pursuits for expansion. Casualties from our warriors in this war were unfortunately far greater than the Americans. It was pretty sad.
Okay, that's good. That's just awful. I'm so sorry to hear that. So how did the Black Hawk War, how did it affect your people?
Well, most of my people left whilst the army was gone. This is because they were all in pretty desperate condition. They were mostly starving and incredibly tired from traveling with the warriors. Black Hawk was okay with this because of their being in such a bad way. Black Hawk just wanted to make sure they were faring well.
So from everything that I'm gathering, you didn't win the war, right?
Yeah, that's right. Black Hawk didn't win the war. In fact, Black Hawk was captured by the Americans while trying to escape with my people. Black Hawk was caught with some of the leaders of the tribe. He was imprisoned at Fortress Monroe, Virginia. Afterwards, in order for the Americans to demonstrate the futility of further resistance by the Indian tribes, Black Hawk was taken on a tour of the major eastern cities before I finally was being released to none other than my rival, Kyoko.
Ooh, so when you were released, what was your life after the war?
Well, Black Hawk spent the last 6 years of his life under the supervision of the Sox chief, who had once been Black Hawk's enemy. Black Hawk was not happy about this, and I felt very insulted.
Well, Black Hawk, thank you for coming and being a part of my show today. It was a blast. I think we learned quite a bit about you and your life during this interview. Really was a pleasure. I hope you have a real good day.
Black Hawk was very happy to come on to the show today. He hopes to be able to come back and visit soon. So, I guess I'll see you guys later.
See you. Bye.
Hi guys, we just want to give you guys a quick summary of what happened in our video and the things that we discussed. One of the things that we discussed is the era of when the Black Hawk War happened, or when it began, which was around the War of 1812 and the late antebellum period. Also, information that was discussed was the details of Black Hawk's life, Black Hawk's War, and the battles that led to the war and in between the war. Also the results, Aaron?
The results, we were that the fact that the Americans won the war, and afterwards he was sent on a journey around the eastern part of U.S. and that's about it.
Well, just want to thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Elmo played our Black Hawk.
I was the host.
And I also played Elmo's voice. And we hope you guys are enjoying your semester, and hope that you enjoy the rest of your semester. And we hope you guys were entertained. Thank you.
Yeah, have a good one.